I started this by going, you know, something like, and I tried to make it syncopated, da 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 da, so that it wasn't straight. And you just have to be careful where you land, because if I did it straight, that's not bad, but I like to try and syncopate stuff. And then you just have to pay attention to doing some sort of artful landing and kind of tricking the listener into thinking you knew what you were doing at the end of this phrase. And then, you know, of course, pentatonic blues is easy to do in this situation too. And the trick for me is I keep traveling around to different positions. I'll do the open position, and then I'll do maybe the second position, come up here, and kind of see this E minor, come up here and see this E minor, moving up to here, all the way up to the octave, which is where I began down here. The other thing I did was double stops. The great thing about E is you can always drone the high E string, and it's very satisfying. You can also drone the B string. And do the E. But I did a double stop here. And in using strings 2 and 3, I can always keep the high E droning. And finally, on the demonstration, I went into rhythm. Now, the other great thing about E is all of the open strings, any mistakes you make actually sound good because you're hitting harmonics, you're bumping on strings that are all in the key. And in fact, sometimes it's satisfying when you're in the key of E minor to go. So you hear any extra stuff that happens, any artifact that happens, is kind of cool because it's in the key. Towards that end, sometimes if I'm recording, I'll put a capo on. Let's say if the actual song is in F sharp minor, I'll put a capo on. Playing live, I don't kind of like the look of capos so much on electric guitars, but in recording, I use them all the time. And part of the reason for that is every time you bump an open string or you want a drone note, if the song was in F sharp and I wanted that drone, I would just use a capo to get it. And it would sound smooth, like. So the rhythm stuff, you've got to mute with your left hand so you can strike all the strings on the guitar. The flesh from these fingers has to be muting a lot so you can keep a real wide thing happening over here with the right hand. And you want to keep the right hand moving all the time. And all that sloppy stuff can then sound really good. So that was a little different approach. I got a clean, loud tone. There was still edge on it, but to me, to my ear, it read clean. And I simply played in a more simple, languid way. Now, as long as the tone on the guitar is loud enough to get way above the rhythm, you can play simpler. And really, the only chord that I paid attention to in that series was the last one, which is the D. And I'll demonstrate that. I played pentatonically, and then when it came to the D chord, I chose some chord tones. I'll demonstrate. Now that's just a choice. This time, I'll pay attention to all the chords. Check this out. So that works, but in a situation like this, it seems like you're overthinking it. Sometimes paying attention to the chords is not the right thing to do. So let me just show you what I did here. E minor, came down to C, and then A major, and then D. A better way would be just to do touches of that. So just in a couple of spots, I'm going to honor the A chord as it goes by, and I'm going to honor the D chord. But that C chord, the second chord, I'm going to ignore it and just stay in E minor pentatonic. Here we go. On to A, on to D. To me, that works much better. It's just a choice to play simple blues over the E minor to C and then speak the chord language on the A and the D. On to A, on to D.